So this is Bailey's Vudu Stage 2 Plus Fiesta ST. It's an ST180, but it's currently 240 horsepower. So the mods are an ITG intake, which sits somewhere down here, which is weird. Pro alloy, curved front mount intercooler, Cobra, Sport Cat, Milltek catback exhaust. Anything else? And a short shifter. And that's pretty much it, isn't it? Lowered as well?
Oh yeah, it's got 25 mil.
It sits pretty nicely. On the side that's in the ditch, it sits pretty nicely.
The Fiesta ST has a bit of a reputation. That reputation entails a lot of pops and bangs, wheel spins in Mackey's car parks, and modifications that look like the car's been driven through Halfords, covered in superglue. But despite its image, and, of course, all the noise, which, by the way, is driver enabled on this car using Vudu's Stage 2 Plus software, so that it doesn't sound like a war zone every time you let off the throttle in a residential area. Despite all of that, I still think the Fiesta ST could be the best Super Mini. The car's 1.6 turbo petrol power plant puts out a respectable 180 horsepower in stock form, with an overboost feature, which in the higher gears boosts the power to 200 horsepower, which actually probably makes the car easier to insure since the stated power figure is noticeably less than they will actually make on a dyno. Bailey's particular example makes an even more respectable 240 horsepower after a surprisingly short list of mods, since these cars are really affordable and easy to tune up and get a bit more oomph out of them. Even with the increased output though, the car maintains its road manners and drivability and easily returns over 40 miles per gallon in the real world, commuting into town every day, which is more than can be said for most hot hatches on the market. It's not all about power though. The ST looks pretty sporty, especially once it's been lowered, but without being so in your face as to attract unwanted attention. And one of the best things about the car by far is the handling. From the factory, the rear roll rate is pretty stiff, so it's really easy to get lift off oversteer in them, which makes the car quick round a track and on the back lanes, if not a little sketchy. Just like the Cooper S of the same year, it uses the brakes on the front to simulate an LSD, slowing down the spinning wheel so that more power can be sent to the other side. However, that's really not a replacement for a proper limited slip diff, and on track coming out of the corners in the wet, the ST likes to do nothing more than spin one wheel and not really speed up, especially with the increased horsepower. That's not what lets it down the most though. The big problem with the ST is the tiny factory brakes, which around Donington Park were only lasting 2 laps before they would be smoking coming into the pits and completely lose all ability to stop the car. Upgraded pads really designed for the track would definitely go a long way to help with this, but for comparison, a stock Mini on also stock Brembo pads and discs manages 20-minute sessions out on track with ease before you start to smell it cooking the brakes, so the ST kinda has no excuse. When it comes to the back lanes though, that's where the ST shines, and the braking issues don't really seem to show their face. For a commuter car that's going to get blasted around town and then sent down B-roads on the weekend, you can't really beat it, especially for the price. And the interior reflects that too. You get nice comfy Recaro bucket seats, which hold you in on the corners and wouldn't get tiring on a long drive. And they're heated, which is a nice bonus. And while the styling and build quality of the interior are kinda basic, and the shape of the dash is really weird, You do get a colour sat-nav with voice control and a decent stereo, so I could definitely live with it. Being a Super Mini, the turning circle's pretty good as you'd expect and as you've just seen, so you certainly wouldn't have any issues getting parked in the city centre or driving down narrow streets around town. Yet it's not quite as small as say a Corsa or a Mini, so you're also not struggling for boot space, even if 5 people is still a bit of a squeeze. All in all, the Fez is a sporty yet practical modern hot hatch which gives you no reason not to love it. If you follow my channel, you know I drive this abomination, the Astra VXR, which was designed by toddlers that were given an unlimited supply of crayons and Monster Energy. I think the VXR and the ST are very much in the same boat, where a small minority of the owners and the highly modified examples, driven in, let's say, an inconsiderate manner, do tend to give the rest of them a bit of a bad reputation. Yet, by being relatively affordable, super easy to live with, pretty common, and having plenty of oomph, the Fiesta ST just makes sense, even if you're not a boy racer looking for their first chav wagon. That being said, I'm going to leave you with some raw flybys, launchers, and revs, so that you can see and hear what this car's all about. And then that's all from me for this video, which is the first of hopefully many car review / feature type things that I'm going to be doing on this channel, although it's a little different from the usual content, which I'll still be doing as well. So if you like the video, drop us a like, leave a comment on what car you'd like to see next, hopefully some big power Vauxhall stuff coming up in the not too distant future, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
When they do what they do, and now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through.